Before we get started, I'd like to say a few words about where we are. Today we're broadcasting from Stanford University in the heart of Silicon Valley. Since World War II, Stanford has encouraged its faculty and students to develop new technologies and turn them into great companies. Welcome to Ask a Silicon Valley Lawyer. I'm Louis Lehot, the founder of L2 Counsel, and today is going to be our video blog number 4 about what to think about before you quit your job and launch your new startup. Here in Silicon Valley, we have a culture of technology innovation. I think employers, for the most part, appreciate that they're hiring very smart people. Those very smart people have a lot of ideas, and there's a lot of tolerance for those employees to explore those ideas off the clock and sometimes even on the clock at their employer. But wherever you are, you should really understand your company's policies before you embark on any new venture. Those policies might be on your company's intranet site, it might be in the employment package that you signed when you joined your current company, but that's something to really take a look at. What is their tolerance for you to pursue new ventures on the side? Rule number 1, if you are pursuing a new venture, is to make sure that everything you create, everything you do regarding your new venture is on a different non-work device. So you want to make sure that you're not using your work computer. If you have a work phone, you're not using that. You're not accessing you're not using work email to discuss the new venture, and you're really doing that out of a separate account. There comes a time when you think, is it time for me to leap? Is it time for me to make that jump? And before you do, you really need to review that employment package that you signed when you joined your company. You probably signed only an offer letter. The offer letter might refer to a number of policies, and you want to take all of those down. You probably also signed something called a Proprietary Information and Invention Assignment Agreement. We call that a PIIA. You might have also signed a confidentiality agreement. We want to pull those down, read those, and understand what's in front of us. So in that new hire document or employee or offer letter package that you got when you signed up to join your company, we're looking for a number of clauses in there that might apply to you. First is you have an obligation to keep your employer's information confidential, and you can't use that for any other purpose. The second thing is you're going to have to look for a non-solicit clause. Are you restricted from soliciting any of your colleagues to go work at another startup? And third, you're going to be looking for a non-compete. Are you subject to any restrictions on what kind of business that you do after you leave the company? Now, while you're an employee of the firm that you're at, it's perfectly legal for that firm to require you to not compete and to not solicit. After you leave, however, the enforceability of those clauses really will depend on where you live, what state that you're in. Here in California, unless your non-compete is entered into in connection with the sale of your company, it generally will not be enforceable after you leave your current employer. But if you go to a different state, for example, Massachusetts, it might certainly be applicable. So very, very important to understand what covenants you've entered into in connection with the documents that you signed when you joined your current company. So you want to look before you leap. That's the message today. So last thing before we wrap up this video blog number 4 on Ask a Silicon Valley Lawyer, I want to give some practical advice. It's really important as you think about leaving your current company and starting a new venture that you do 2 things. One is leave on good terms. Don't take your employer's confidential information. Don't take down your email. Don't download documents. All of that is digitally traceable, and we live in a small world and it gets smaller by the day. We certainly don't want to have a dispute with your employer that would really inhibit the growth of your new company that you've worked so hard to get off the ground. Lastly, before you make that jump, I really recommend finding a good startup lawyer who can help you think through all the things that we talked about today and how they apply to you and your new venture. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me through my website, L2Counsel.com, or by email, or on any of my social media channels. If you have any comments about what you heard today, please enter them in the space below, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much.